The Amish are famous for living a very austere existence, free from many of the accoutrements of modern life. As an extremely devout Christian group, a lot of Amish custom can be traced back to their intense religious convictions. However, that is not all there is to it. They have interesting norms, traditions, and customs that have been passed down from generation to generation. As with any other cultural community, part of their traditions has been influenced from the outside. One of the most surprising things is what happens on the wedding night. To get a better idea of any culture, it's best to examine some of its traditions. So, come along with us as we take a look at Amish traditions guaranteed to surprise you. The Amish are renowned for their simplicity in dress. Men don solid-colored shirts, wide-brimmed hats, and suits that mark likeness among themselves. Amish men also sport beards to indicate manhood and married status and to foster humility. They are not allowed to sport mustaches since mustaches are considered, in the eyes of the Amish, to be related to the military, which they are strongly against due to their pacifist nature. Women also have the same rules about what to wear, stated similarly in the Ordnung, the Amish counterpart to laws. They must wear calf-length dresses and subdued colors with bonnets and aprons. Prayer caps and bonnets are worn by the women as they are a visible representation of their religious views and unify them through the tradition that each woman wears one. A bonnet's color determines whether a woman is married or unmarried. Married women use white bonnets, and unmarried women use black bonnets. The bonnet's color coding matters since jewelry, like wedding rings, cannot be worn by women as it is considered to draw attention to the body, which could lead to pride in the wearer. All their clothing is handmade, but how to button the garment largely depends on whether the Amish individual belongs to New Order or Old Order Amish. The Old Order Amish rarely, if at all, make use of buttons since they are regarded as being too flashy. They make use of the hook and eye method to create clothing or metal snaps. The New Order Amish are a little more modern and permit the use of buttons to assist garment clothes. This isn't even one of the most perplexing customs. All the Amish men, when they get married, are supposed to grow beards. They cannot shave them, and this has become one of their most characteristic features. This, too, can be traced back to passages of the Bible about the beards of men. But why do they not wear mustaches? Did the Bible forbid them from doing so? No, the reason for wearing full beards with no mustaches is because of something very different. The Amish are pacifists, so they've never, nor will they ever, been affiliated with the military. Violence of any kind is absolutely forbidden, and that means the military as a means to war needs to be avoided. Until 1916, British soldiers in the military had to have mustaches. During the British occupation years leading up to the American Revolution, they didn't exactly welcome conscientious objectors like the Amish. In order to dissociate themselves from this style that became associated with war, the Amish did not wear mustaches along with their beards. Continue watching for more interesting facts. Amish young people make a decision about whether or not they would like to join the church when they are in their late teens and early 20s, and if they do decide to be baptized, they place themselves under the authority of the church for the remainder of their lives. Through this, candidates profess faith and commit to obeying the Amish order or the Ordnung, an uncodified custom that dictates desired practices and rules. Church members who violate the covenant and refuse to repent and confess their wrongdoing are ostracized and shunned. The Amish in Pennsylvania attempt to convince the wayward individuals to join the church, but those who persist in their disobedience have to be excluded from fellowship so that the church can remain pure. The shunned are not allowed any form of social contact and are shut off from all close friends and acquaintances. Shunning is a rare occurrence, though it is an effective means of social control for the Amish to ensure their spiritual purity. Each district normally has 2 or 3 ministers, a deacon, and a bishop who is usually shared by 2 districts. The Pennsylvania Amish do not think that one should attend a religious college or seminary to be a minister in the church. No one is brought in or thinks he has been called to preach. Instead, ministers are selected by lot from the males in the Amish church district congregation. Deacons are selected by lot and bishops from among the ministers. Entering the ministry is not considered an honor, but a heavy and serious responsibility. Ministers typically serve a lifetime and are not paid. In the majority of Amish communities, a young man will not be baptized into the church unless he is prepared to become a minister if the lot ever falls upon him. It is usually assumed that the candidate will be a married man. New ministers are required when one passes away or when a district becomes too large and splits. The selection event itself is regarded as one of the most emotional and significant to be witnessed in the Amish faith. A notice of the selection of a new minister would normally be announced at least 2 weeks before the communion service, so everyone can pray and reflect. There should not be debates among the laymen as to whom they intend to nominate, and no one expresses his willingness to become a minister. Voting is done by the church members after the service of communion, and whoever gets 3 or more votes is appointed as the candidates. Each of the candidates picks a hymnal, and whoever has a slip of paper with a verse inscribed on it that has been placed inside is considered the one whom God has picked from among the people. Funeral procedures of Lancaster Amish settlement are a little different from others. In Lancaster County, an Amish corpse is brought to a local funeral home that is well aware of Amish funerary traditions. The body may be washed by members of the family prior to the arrival of the undertaker. The undertaker prepares the body for burial by embalming it and generally dressing it in long johns before it is put into the coffin. Coffins are 6-sided, with 2 sides that are hinged and fold down to show the body from the chest up, and lined with fabric made and supplied by the Amish. The coffin is returned to the Amish family. The corpse is typically clothed in white garments by members of the same sex as the deceased. In the case of men, this is white trousers, vest, and shirt. In the case of women, a white robe, cape, and apron. In most instances, the white apron and cape are the same as those used on a woman's wedding day. Meanwhile, news of the passing spreads to the relatives and others within the church neighborhood, and the local newspaper runs an obituary. Before the funeral service and burial, which is typically 3 days following the time of death, friends and neighbors visit the residence to see the deceased. This is a mournful occasion, with men and women in black sitting quietly in 1 or 2 rooms. There is a greeting of the family members by the visitors, and then they are invited to view the body. They are brought to the coffin, and the white sheet or cloth is drawn back to show the face of the deceased. Makeup or cosmetic is not applied by the undertaker to the face when he is embalming the corpse. On the funeral day, a religious service is conducted in the house. While delivering sermons, ministers avoid eulogizing. Rather, they prefer to refer to the Book of Creation. After the religious ceremony, the buggies will parade to the cemetery, and since there are so many, a number identifying the order is usually scrawled in chalk on the side. The coffin is loaded into the hearse, an enclosed box-like carriage pulled by a horse. The long procession of carriages going to the cemetery is a dignified, impressive sight. There are approximately 20 Amish cemeteries in Lancaster County with gravestones that are quite standardized with a name, birth date, death date, and age in years, months, and days. Gravestones in German are found in older cemeteries, but newer ones are in English. In the cemetery, the grave is already dug. There is no singing. Instead, the minister or bishop reads an old hymn until the pallbearers fill the grave. The Lord's Prayer is recited silently. A few of the Amish members present will go to the home for a straightforward meal. Carpentry is among the first things that come to mind for outsiders whenever Amish traditions are mentioned. The Amish do indeed have a knack for woodworking, particularly constructing barns. This is a family business passed down from father to son, and a good source of income for most Amish communities as well. This is a craft that can be practiced without the need for electrical equipment. It does make the work more challenging, but the Amish have perfected these techniques for many years. Most of the Amish do not use modern equipment, and they maintain traditional crafts that they can accomplish with hard work and the use of manual tools. They construct schools, homes, and community buildings within their villages. These are very plain and utilitarian. All of the modern technology and electricity from the public grid are prohibited. They do this to keep away from the outside life that can be a danger to Amish culture. Amish food is characterized as plain and old-fashioned. Amish food features significantly in social life among the Amish and is consumed during potlucks, weddings, fundraisings, farewells, and other occasions. Much of the Amish foods is retailed at markets such as pies, preserves, bread mixes, pickled fruits and vegetables, desserts, and canned foods. Restaurants for tourists have also been founded by many Amish communities. Amish meat intake is comparable to that of Americans, although they consume more preserved meat. Amish food is frequently confused with the comparable Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine, with some ethnographic and geographic differences and variations in what cookbook authors and food historians highlight regarding the traditional foodways and interconnected religious culture and holidays of Amish groups. While myths of shoofly pie diffusion are standard fare for studies of American food culture, food anthropologists note that the Pennsylvanian Dutch and Amish foodways are dynamic and creative, developing over time and across space, and that not all of the Pennsylvania Dutch are Amish, and that not all of the Amish reside in Pennsylvania. Sorting out local myth from culinary fact is achieved by serious anthropological field work coupled with literary source studies, typically newspaper archives, diaries, and family records. Watch this space for further amusing traditions. This is a craft that can be practiced without the need for electrical equipment. It does make the work more challenging, but the Amish have perfected these techniques for many years. Most of the Amish do not use modern equipment, and they maintain traditional crafts that they can accomplish with hard work and the use of manual tools. They construct schools, homes, and community buildings within their villages. These are very plain and utilitarian. All of the modern technology and electricity from the public grid are prohibited. They do this to keep away from the outside life that can be a danger to Amish culture. Amish food is characterized as plain and old-fashioned. Amish food features significantly in social life among the Amish and is consumed during potlucks, weddings, fundraisings, farewells, and other occasions. Much of the Amish foods is retailed at markets such as pies, preserves, bread mixes, pickled fruits and vegetables, desserts, and canned foods. Restaurants for tourists have also been founded by many Amish communities. Amish meat intake is comparable to that of Americans, although they consume more preserved meat. Amish food is frequently confused with the comparable Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine, with some ethnographic and geographic differences and variations in what cookbook authors and food historians highlight regarding the traditional foodways and interconnected religious culture and holidays of Amish groups. While myths of shoofly pie diffusion are standard fare for studies of American food culture, food anthropologists note that the Pennsylvanian Dutch and Amish foodways are dynamic and creative, developing over time and across space, and that not all of the Pennsylvania Dutch are Amish, and that not all of the Amish reside in Pennsylvania. Sorting out local myth from culinary fact is achieved by serious anthropological field work coupled with literary source studies, typically newspaper archives, diaries, and family records. Watch this space for further amusing traditions.